Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey, here for another television review. I am so behind, but we are here to talk about Love and Marriage DC. This episode went by really quick for me, so I promise you guys, I know I always say this, but I promise you I am not going to hold you because it's really not a lot to talk about. So we're going to kind of try to nutshell this so we can get on to P-Valley review, which is going to be long and drawn out because it was good. Okay, but let's talk about Love and Marriage DC. This is season 1, as you guys know. This is episode 3 or 4. I think it's 3. I'm pretty sure this is episode 5 actually, and it was called Did I Do That? When it should have been called 20 on 10, because the whole episode I was getting a lot of 20 on 10. Let's jump right into this episode. We pick up where we left off, and that is Monique and Chris Samuels struggling to get along. I agree. You guys know that sometimes I join panels on the shows that I review, and I was fortunate enough last Sunday to join Really BTV. You guys check out Really BTV if you have not. She does a Sunday panel on Love and Marriage DC, and she's kind enough to invite me to offer my opinion here and there when she has an opportunity. And so I learned a lot. One, Really B is from the DMV area, DC. She's been in and around that area all of her life. And so she can shed a lot on things that I just don't understand as a Southerner, as a Georgian. Conversations I just don't get, right? But also she can shed a lot of light on just how people move in those areas, just things that go on that to me doesn't make sense, but for her makes perfect sense. It's also an opportunity for me to talk with someone else about the show and get right now feedback about what's going on with the show. And she pointed out how tired and exhausted Monique and Chris must have been in episode 4, and how that played a big role in them probably coming to this really tumultuous argument. So I love it. I love it. I love going to other content creators and listening to their reviews and listening to their panels, whether I'm participating in it or not, because it's a different perspective. And I think it's important to hear other people's perspective outside of your own, right? She also pointed out in this Sunday's episode about some things I really just didn't think about, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. You guys know I don't watch other people's reviews before I do my own, so I am so behind on all my reviews. I want to watch them so desperately. I was like, I got to get my videos out because I need to watch I need to watch the reviews too. So like I said, we pick up where Chris Samuels and Monique left off. It was this really crazy place where, he was saying, ain't no need of us filming no more. If she's not going to talk to me and we're not going to talk. Well, there was a male producer that went and talked with him, and a female producer that went and talked to her separately and helped them to just come back together to continue filming and to continue having the conversation. They were able to work it out. Monique started crying. Chris went over to hug her. It still was kind of this forced state of being. I still stand by what I said, and that is that Monique can get whatever she wants. She just has to figure out how to approach Chris, and she has to figure out how to edit herself and dial it back, especially since She should know by now. Most women know. Y'all put it down below if you know or not. But most women emotionally are a little bit more mature than men. Knowing all of this, why do you keep trying to force him to be you, boo? He's not. He's not. Now, you got you a decent man. I think you can work this out. I stand by that, right? Like I said, it still was this weird, awkward place where I think she was still pretty heated. She started crying. She did save face. They came back together. But I still think she was pretty mad. I mean, she wasn't like hugging him back. He was like hugging her. I don't know. But seeing the producers go and talk to them separately, I stand by what I said. They do need a type of marriage team builder. Somebody pointed out in Really B's Tribe a couple of Sundays ago that they think that Monique and Chris could use some role reversal. I agree after seeing this episode that so can Jamie and Erana. They could use like a little role reversal. It can be fun, and it's a good way to see how another person views you, the way you communicate and the way you approach this world. So, yeah, that is Chris and Monique. Then we see where Jamie goes over to Brittany, his oldest daughter, not by birth. This is his daughter he raised, his wife's daughter, with another person that he raised, Brittany. And she brought him over really to just talk to him about the way he's approaching Jayson, the way he's handling Jayson, and what Jayson wants to do with his own life. Just to soften her dad up and to see if he wanted to take an opportunity to reapproach, and not just create this tumultuous relationship with Jayson like he has with Jamie Jr. It was a good moment. I was confused as to why she had all of her breasts out. Not all of them. We didn't see areolas, but I'm just saying, it seemed like a lot of breasts to be in front of your daddy. We see where Monique meets with Winter, and it was just crazy. This is the reason why I said 20 on 10, because Winter and Monique go to lunch. They have their small talk. After the small talk, Monique is like, how did it go? Winter is like, yeah, so your girls ambushed me, but it was your lunch. You set up the lunch. You arranged for the four of y'all to go to lunch. I don't know if it was editing or what, but this scene was really just Winter dumping on both Erana and Ashley. Now, we didn't get to see her say anything about Tasha. She made it seem like Erana and Ashley were aggressive towards her. Not just at that lunch, but she made it seem like Erana was lukewarm and a fence rider. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ride the fence, play both sides when they went together at lunch, right? Even though you left the lunch with Ashley and Tasha and Erana, and y'all had agreed, you know what I'm saying, to reapproach and try to come at each other a little better. Like, it seemed like y'all kind of squashed it, right? We never get to see her mention that. We just get to see how she felt like she was ambushed at this lunch with the Kevin talk. Also, you had smiled and laughed and talked and ate with Erana, and never once let on that you thought she was a fan. But you telling Monique. Not only that, but you dragging Ashley's husband, DJ Quick. You calling him a pint-sized DJ. Just what you doing. Never once mentioning you guys came to an amicable place. Never once mentioned that you guys left the lunch and it was all peaceable and you guys agreed to try to do better. Never once. You made it seem like she made it seem like she had been battling the girls since Monique left, and that's why she was glad that Monique was back. I'm not gonna say it was a lie. I'm gonna say that the way she told it was a lot worse than what it was. And honestly, it was some untruths there. It was a lot of untruths there. I didn't care for that at all. But we're going to talk about it a little bit more. We see where Jayson plays a game called goal ball. Basically, it's a game that the visually impaired play, where it's kind of like soccer, but there is, inside the ball is a bell. So you have to be very, very quiet so you can hear the ball coming. So the goalie on the other side is blind, and he has to listen for the ball. It's a fun game. And so the whole family played blindfold so they can just see what a day in the life of Jayson is. Now, let me say this. Jayson did get a chance to talk to his dad. His dad pulled him aside after the game. The family had a good time at the game. His dad pulled him aside and told him, hey, listen, I'm sorry about how I came across. You make the decisions for your life. Whatever decisions you make for your life, I'm going to stand behind you. It was a good moment. And he did it because his daughter, Brittany, encouraged him to do so. So I'm proud of Jamie in that moment. Some of you may already know, if you are down in my comments, if you read comments that other people leave, that Jamie Tyler dropped down in my comments on last week's episode, because I had some concerns about the fact that his son's room was not decorated. Well, he cleared that up for me in the comments down below. It's in last week's video, episode 4. You guys can check that out. It was amicable. It was professional. It was a fair conversation, non-biased. You guys know I don't mind people disagreeing with me, as long as you're respectful. You can criticize. I don't care. I don't care. As long as you're respectful, you ain't got to worry about me. I don't block. I don't hide. I don't do any of that stuff unless it's disrespectful. He was extremely respectful, and he let me know that they were required to take all of the art and stuff off of the walls. That they, I guess they didn't want any kind of brand endorsement indirectly, or celebrity endorsement indirectly, that type of thing. And really B did point out that Monique and Chris Samuels do have art on their walls, but it's mostly pictures of them and their family, not art from the outside. So although I had never heard of it and I didn't think that was true, apparently it is true in this instance, and it is done. It is done that they ask you to kind of make everything real neutral from a marketing standpoint, so you don't get into anything with advertising and not being paid for it and that type of thing. So understandable. Thank you for clearing that up, Mr. Tyler. I appreciate it. And also thank you for reaching out to your son and letting him know that dad's got his back no matter what. That's the most important thing, more important than the walls and all of this other stuff. This is the most important thing, that he knows that no matter what, there's nothing that he can do to keep you from loving him. Period. That's what our kids need to know, right? Jayson also got word that he was accepted into DOORS, the program for the disabled that teaches them how to live on their own and function and get jobs and that type of stuff. So he's also got accepted into that. Shout out to Jamie and Erana, because they have had their kids in several scenes over several episodes. All of their families have been in these scenes. And from what I understand, you're in these scenes, you get a check. How much it is, I don't know. But I think it's smart to let everybody kind of eat off what you got going on and make them a part of the family business, especially if your family business is going to be upfront and with the public on this grand scale. Everybody should be eating. Everybody's story is being told. Everybody should be eating. So shout out to Erana and Jamie Tyler for that. I still got some stuff to say about y'all though, but let's move on. We see where Ashley and her friend Alicia, Funtime Moms is the name of her podcast. Y'all know Monique is Not for Lazy Moms podcast, and so this is how her and Ashley became friends. We see where they're at the Selfie Museum, and it's this event like day drinking, and I guess Funtime Mom is you can be a good mom, but you can also party. I'm assuming there is a niche for that. I'm assuming there's a niche for that. Now, where I come from, you kept that a little bit quiet. Now, I don't have no children, but I'm just saying. You kept your party side a little bit quiet. But now we live out loud. The Selfie Museum was a really cute idea, too. That's something I wouldn't mind doing for an event. I love taking selfies. Erana had a red jumpsuit on, baby. That was gorgeous. Gorgeous. She looked beautiful. She was best dressed at the Selfie Museum event. Monique comes in and she steals away Ashley and Erana, and they sit down and talk. And what does she do? She regurgitates everything that Winter said like it was fact. Typically, when you gotten the scoop on something that happened when you weren't there, when you talk to somebody else that was there, you ask them, how was the party? How did it go? And you see what they have to say. Because, you want to see, like, was the person I was talking to initially put 20 on 10, or is this really what happened at the party? She don't do that. She go right in and said, Winter said y'all did this, that, and the third. Of course, they were both like, what are you talking about? Because Winter definitely was putting 20 on 10. One, she said she was ambushed. No, it was Ashley Actually, that was ambushed. Actually, it was Ashley. And then two, they did talk about aggression, Ashley being aggressive, but Ashley was very clear and consistent during that lunch about how she felt. She doesn't consider everybody her friend, including Erana. And she's not just going to be friends with Winter, and she doesn't change what she has to say. She apologized that it came off aggressive, but it doesn't change what they had to say. Now, Winter made it seem like that she gathered Ashley and got her told, like, you don't need to be saying nothing about my marriage and what I went through when your own husband is out here cheating, right? Monique repeated all this. Ashley was so heated. I mean, I believed that she was gonna fight her. I believed it. I believed that she was really mad because she kept saying, what you're saying is not true. That's not true. Even when Winter showed up, and Winter was like, oh, I just walked into like a whole hornet's nest, and I was like, let me just sit down and see if I could sort this out. You started it. And Erana and Ashley kept saying the same thing. That's why I believe I believe what they were saying, because I saw it. It wasn't that, unless it's something they edited out. We won't see that until reunion maybe, but it's not true. What you're saying is not true. It was kind of like she was playing around with the truth. She was exaggerating, and she was saying it like it was an argument and a fight when it was really a conversation in some instances. She was saying like Ashley told her that when they everything calmed down at the lunch and they were talking, and Ashley was like, I have had my suspicions, but like Erana, I never caught my husband. And although we've had our own issues before we got married with cheating on one another, we're solid. They were just talking at that point. But she made it seem like not only did she gather Ashley, but she also told Ashley she don't have no reason to be talking about her husband Kevin, because her own husband DJ Quicksilver is out here in these streets doing woo to woo to woo. And that's not how the conversation went. Ashley did say her husband was cheating, and Winter didn't accuse Ashley husband of cheating to her face. she was in the confessional saying she thought certain things was interesting, but she didn't confront Ashley. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. And Ashley wasn't saying that she thought that she and her husband were cheating on each other presently. She was being transparent about things that had happened prior to them getting married. I don't think that Erana took it that serious. I mean, she was offended. She didn't like it, and she defended herself to Winter. But at the same time, she wasn't trying to go too in depth with it, because I don't think she really connected with how Winter drug her and Ashley to Monique. I don't think she connected to that at all. Plus, she had already said she don't do a lot of woo. You know what I'm saying? She don't do a lot of that. It don't matter to her, so she move on about her business. But she was having a hard time calming Ashley down, because Ashley wanted to take that one half side of Winter's head and mop that whole floor with it. Like, she was pretty pissed off about the fact that I'm giving you a second chance and I'm seeing what it's going to be between us in terms of friendship, and this the stunt you pull. Now, Monique kept saying, did I do that? I just think I went about it the wrong way. And I was like, Monique, you suck as bone collector. You suck as bone collector. Like, I don't want to see this role from Monique. I don't want to see Monique be the bone collector. I just don't. One, is just, you can tell it's not something she does regularly, because she doesn't do it well. And I think we can tell that Monique is that one of the anchor couples. Monique and Chris is one of the anchor couples. We don't need her to be a facilitator for the mess. I just don't want to see that for Monique, because inevitably people who are the bone collectors and carriers, with the exception of Candy Burris, typically they are some of the messiest people. I don't want this for Monique. So that was a big blow up. Oh my gosh. Winter walked in just in time. I don't know. It just kind of felt staged. And this is the problem I had with the Bell Collective, the other Carlos King show. Like, I could just tell that they was acting and stuff like that. Like, it just didn't feel like reality TV to me. This episode, I don't know. So that was a huge mess. Well, Erana and Jamie, something happened to them the night before. They were having an argument. Now, when we see them, they were in one of their homes. They do real estate. They flip houses. They out there looking at a house that they need to flip, and they can barely walk through it with the realtor and the other investors, because they having little petty arguments about something that happened the night before. Basically, this is what happened. When she left the selfie event, she still had another event to go to at a venue where he was throwing a party, and her best friend was having a birthday party in addition to. So he's throwing a party, and her friend is having a party inside that party. This is basically what's going on. Shout out to Really Be TV, who kind of helped me to understand, because I was just like, you just let valet park your car. Like, girl, what is going on? So basically, she comes up, she calls or texts him and tells him she's outside. He comes out, and he has been drinking. He's got probably people in his ear, things he's got to do, things he's got to check on. He really doesn't have a lot of time for chit chatting and small talk. You know, he's trying to like move her through the process. Like, park your car right here, leave the keys, go inside, I'll take care of it. But he's being belligerent. He's pushing her around in the conversation, and she didn't like it. She was already on 10 from all of the rah-rah that was going on at the selfie event, and constantly trying to keep Ashley from dragging Winter. And then to come and your husband barking at you, and really be pointing out something to me that I'm mentioning to you guys, because I didn't see it that way. I thought this argument was so petty and ridiculous, like made up storyline, but really be pointed out something to me, and I'm going to mention it to you guys, and you tell me if that was something you thought about as well, or if that's what you understood from the argument. She was saying that not that he's not this way, not that she's not used to him talking to her like that. She is. This is who he is. He's a barker. He barks, right? Not that he bites, but he barks a lot. And he's hard to talk to. And he's unapproachable in a lot of settings. And he can be very demonstrative. Yes, all true. But because she was already so frazzled, the way she normally deals with it, the way she normally handles him, she wasn't in the mood to do it that way. And so she gathered her stuff when she realized he had an attitude and he was talking to her sideways, instead of her poo-pooing him and going on about her business and ignoring him, which is what she typically does, I'm sure. She got her stuff and got in her car and she left her own best friend's birthday party. So now they talking about it, and she is I can't get over that, almost crying but not crying. Like, she has the break in her voice but no actual tears. She's done it a couple of times now. And he was like, oh, now you being over dramatic. You can just tell he's a little bit of a dick. He's a little bit of a dick. Now, I'm shout out to him for taking up for his son and speaking up about, his son. I appreciate him clearing that up. But yeah, let's be honest, he's a little bit of a dick. She's having this moment. To me, it seemed petty, but I realized, you know what? That's true. Why she was so frazzled was because typically she looks over the way he talks to her, the way he acts, the way he can be. But because she was so frazzled, she just decided she wasn't dealing with any of it, and she, took her things and she left. This isn't a made-up storyline. She was trying to tell him in the best way she knew how, that you always do this. You always do this. When I need you the most, you so busy being you that I'm just sick of it. The way they was retelling it, I wasn't getting that, but I see it now. I do. And I said last week that she's so self-absorbed and self-involved, but clearly he is too. And they ended up making up, and that's what she said. We tend to argue and then we make up. I don't know. I think Erana has got a lot of things that she is hiding. A lot of things that is going on that she is possibly covering for. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all put it down below. I'd like to know what you all think about it. Best practices. When you hear about drama, hear what everybody got to say before you weigh in on what somebody else told you. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Don't go in leading with what you heard. Hear what they know first. And again, these couples could use like a little team builder, like a little marriage team builder, some role playing. These couples could definitely use that. I think they would benefit from it. Erana and Jamie, as well as Monique and Chris. And like I said, DJ Silva and Ashley seem like they a rider couple. They take up for each other no matter what. But they got some stuff going on too that they could benefit from. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all put it down below. Listen, until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.